Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up, shoved it up. It got shoved, right?
Let's go kick some ass.
Good evening, Spartan Savants. We've had a mixed past weekend, sports-wise, with the Lions and Michigan State. Luckily, we just beat rival Michigan in a interesting ass beating, I would say. I'm joined with Travis and Winston here. Willie, Willie, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Anytime you can beat Michigan, that's a win. We'll get into all that. Still obviously recovering from the Lions loss, which we'll touch on. But outside of that, things are looking up. Double-digit win versus a rival. That always brightens the mood a little bit. So feeling good
That's
over here.
true. That's true. It does always hit well, even when the season's not going the way you want it.
Mhm.
Vest, how are you?
Yeah, like Willie said, tough week for sports, but that win last night was much needed, and I have a feeling this therapy session that we're about to get into is going to be much needed too.
Yes. So, yeah, today, basically, as Willie was saying, we're gonna recap Michigan, preview Maryland a bit, just talk about MSU basketball in general, touch on the Lions, which by touch on, I mean probably ramble on for like 40 minutes because there's a lot to talk about. And then we're gonna draft some of our most disappointing sports moments, and we'll get more into that later. But yeah, first things first, go green, baby. We got a lot of work to do, but we ain't dead yet. Michigan State beats Michigan by 19 points. What was it? 81-62. First half really bothered me, but we kept it close by the end. It kind of seemed like the classic Spartan script, but second half, we really turned it on. Akins, you can just tell he hates U of M and just went off for a career high 23 points. Willie, give me some of your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean the first half obviously really disappointing. I think that was I was ready to not watch second half, wave the flag. Knee jerk reaction was a couple things. Like if you can't as a team get up for at home versus Michigan, Tom Izzo's birthday, going for a 700th win, I really don't know what to tell this team. Like if you can't get up for that game, I don't know what else to say. Like there's no hope.
Did you see that I guess Davis Smith did like the big Michigan or big like halftime speech?
I did. I was just reading that on Spartan Mag. Great to see. Obviously, love to see a walk-on step up into a leadership role like that. And I think Hogarth hit the nail on the head. Like that guy bleeds green. Like he was born into the Michigan State culture with his dad obviously being a legend at MSU. So that was great to read. I think that anytime you can get any leadership, especially for this team, is good. Especially from it coming from a walk-on, kind of an unsung. I don't want to say hero, but someone that you wouldn't expect to come from. I think that's great. After watching the first half, I just was like, I said this in a text. I don't know at what point you just don't play Booker more. Like how many points do you have to be down to Michigan at home, to just be like, okay, let's just play the guy. He comes in and hits a three, take him out. I don't know. At some point, I wasn't sure. Like, when do you just let the dog loose? I mean, take the leash off. Let's just let him play. See what we got for extended minutes at least. Having said that, second half totally different team. Aiken 7 for 10 from three. Probably his best performance to date. My biggest takeaway, honestly, probably is how dire situation Michigan is in. I mean, points in the second half. I'm not sure they wanted to be there. Just look like they didn't care. Juwan Howard has to be a dead man walking at this point. And I think it just, that game in general, that felt like the excitement was very low. Like it just didn't feel like a typical Michigan State basketball game. And it's a Tuesday night. I know it's always a little tough, but I mean, I remember when Izzo and Beeline, they're fighting for Big Ten championships, and those games were big. Like you didn't miss a single second of those games. Um, both teams obviously are not living up to expectations. Michigan in a totally different way than Michigan State. Um, but so I think in general that probably took away from the excitement. But that Michigan team, they're in shambles. I mean, they
They're
just
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it didn't look like they had any juice. I mean, that's why I was so pissed when we were losing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was
I-
thinking, like just sorry, real quick. I was
yeah.
thinking like, oh, watching it, like the whole time you're thinking like, oh man, I mean it's Michigan, like it's never gonna be that easy, but like they can't be that bad. That second half, it was like, okay, whoa, these guys,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, I mean,
Like,
in that first half, they couldn't miss either.
Yeah.
So it
yeah,
was, we were playing bad. I mean, I wrote down how soft we were playing. Everybody was getting pushed around. And I remember thinking just, oh, we got good Aikens and bad everybody else. I mean, like that
Right.
was basically the way we were playing. And in the first half, like he picked it up a little bit in the second half, but Carson Cooper looked lost out there in the first half. And it was really rough to watch. They were making it seemed like we weren't contesting shots. I feel like I saw a couple times where guys would like jump at them, but not even put their hands up. Just defense 101. I mean, and then, but when we got to the second half, they were missing shots. It kind of let us get out and run a little bit like we want to. Thought Kohler looked a lot better. And to your point about Booker, Willie, I felt like he brought a lot of energy in the first half, so I couldn't figure out why they put him back out there or back on the bench. Um, but then he played quite a bit from what I could tell. I don't know what his numbers are because I'm not looking at it right now, but or what his minutes were because I'm not looking at it. But I mean, it seemed like he brought a little extra energy, a little extra juice when he was out there. And it seemed like they started at least towards the end of the second half rebounding a lot better, a lot like we're used to seeing, and just kind of caring a little more. And I also thought Jackson Kohler started playing a lot better in the second half as well. So, um, and last thing on Booker, I'll say is you can see why Izzo's talked about how like he needs to come along better on defense. Felt like there were some parts of that where, or some moments in the game where he was a little hesitant with what to do and where to be. Um, but I mean, he's freshman, and I mean so that'll come. But I mean, the talent's incredibly evident, especially last night.
yeah, definitely. One thing I thought too that I've noticed last few games, Tyson Walker's been kind of off, which to be honest, I don't think that's that big a deal because he's gonna turn it back on. And I did think it was great that finally, as we were begging him to do, Akins finally stepped up. Just
Yeah.
because usually it's just Tyson is off. Well, we're not winning this game.
Right.
Well, I almost texted you guys last night with about Walker because there was that one moment where he got a little hurt a little bit and he was a little slow, and they got him the ball like off the rebound to like run the fast break, and he just like completely slowed it up and like looked like he wanted nothing to do with the ball during that possession. So I was a little worried there, but it was good to see him turn it back on.
Yeah, maybe it
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt for him to rest a little bit. I feel like every game he has like one of those moments where you think he's out for the season.
You
Right.
need to
Yeah.
win a few more games before that, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's good to see us win without him being at his best. I mean, if you're gonna get, and I know we're not gonna get this version of Hogarth or Akins every game, but if Akins is gonna put up 20 and go 7 for 10 from three, and Hogarth is gonna, put up 15 with 7 assists, that's you're gonna win. I feel like you're gonna win most games if that happens. So if it's not Tyson, someone does have to pick it up and be that 20-point scorer. But I feel like Hogarth is kind of the guy that makes it go. And if he's getting assists and he's in double-digit points, I feel like that is going to more times than not lead to success. He's not the best player on the team, but he may be the most important. I think he got shaken up a little bit. Something with his shoulder, it looked like at one point, was favoring it a little bit, but it looked like in the second half we were all over the place. Like we were out hustling them. We were, I mean, obviously out shooting them, out playing them. I think in that halftime speech, Hogarth mentioned like Davis Smith said, like they were playing soft. So, like, I mean, honestly, thank you to him because they did look very soft in the first half, and
Yeah.
it was very disappointing to see that, especially versus a rival. I mean, that's just a game you can't come out soft for. So
Against
good to see him back,
Michigan.
pick it up in the second half. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Izzo said that they all season they haven't had a vocal leader. So it was good to hear about somebody actually saying something instead of just moping around.
yeah, agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for you guys. Um, who is our best center?
Booker.
It depends on the night. I mean, I mean,
Offensively, Booker. Yeah.
you might get three different answers. I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's Kohler. I just feel like we have
Yeah.
the ceiling with Kohler, I think, is better or is higher, I should say. The most consistent, I don't know, probably Sissoko. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think you know what you're getting there at least. Kohler, I still feel like he's getting his legs under him a little bit. Um, but the ceiling is highest with him, especially offensively.
Mhm.
He's got to work on some things defensively, but we can stretch the floor a little more with him, I feel. But Booker, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the guy you want. I mean, that's where you're
Yeah.
hoping.
I mean, yeah, those are the top two options, obviously. I mean, they played them together a little bit. I didn't really notice how well it went or anything, but I mean, those guys are the two options that can stretch the floor from that position. Like I said, Booker's got to work on his defense. Kohler's a little more well-rounded on defense, and I feel like he's got a higher floor than I mean, both of them have a higher floor than the other guys, Cooper and Sissoko. So
When Cooper's playing good, he's not bad.
He's
I mean, like he's
yeah, but
pretty.
he's
good.
he has highs and lows.
Yeah, yeah.
His
Sometimes he
the
looks lost.
thing is his ceiling is like basically the other guy's floors, maybe a little higher.
Yeah. I mean, they're like that first half when he looks lost, it's like, what is this guy even doing on the team? But then, every now and then he'll give you like 7 really good minutes, and you're like, oh shit, like this guy can play a little bit. Um,
He has
yeah, I
his
don't mean,
moments.
it's a tough position
He has
for
his
us,
moment.
obviously.
It's hype when he dunks. Like
Yeah.
a Cooper dunk is always fun. But it's like he and Sissoko, they both can't catch the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just
That's a problem.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So we got some good minutes from Coen Carr last night. That block was pretty
Yes.
sweet.
Yes.
I just
That was
want to see
awesome.
him get some more. He like, especially at the Breslin Center, he brings an energy. Like
Yeah.
one dunk from him is like a 5-0 run, I feel like, in terms of the crowd excitement. Like he gets the people going.
He, well
He
said.
does, yeah. He does. Oh, did you guys see that at the end of the game? Like AJ had to do like a 360 dunk.
Yeah,
Like,
he missed it.
Didn't
Yeah.
catch it. He missed
that would have been
Yeah.
really cool if he made that.
He
Good for them.
tried
I mean,
to
have a little fun.
yeah, it came out of nowhere. He kind of tried to flush it and it flew like down the court past the 3-point line.
I thought he was like someone like pushed him or something. I was like, wait, what the hell?
No, he just got straight up rim and it bounced. Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, you guys got anything else to say about the Michigan game?
No, that just about does it. Good
Yeah.
win.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Fun to beat up on a rival.
We won by almost 20. Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. Probably not going to cut it because I cannot stress enough. Michigan is a bad.
Really bad. But yeah.
If they've lost like 8 out of their last 9 games,
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
there would be riots in the streets if that was happening in East Lansing.
God, yes. They're in a territory of like, if you're a fan, you're not paying attention to them anymore. Like they're not good. They have to fire Jawan Howard.
There's so, I mean, wow.
Yeah, that was alarming.
Yeah, like I felt bad for them.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot for me to feel bad for them, but I was like, all right, guys, like it would really. I'd like you guys to be
Bring back
competitive.
the
Like,
varsity team. Yeah.
Yeah, we put
Like-
a fight a little bit.
all right, but okay. So yeah, so we got Maryland coming up on Saturday. Finally a Saturday game. Have some fun there. Rematch at home at the Breslin Center. Maryland is also 5-5 in the Big Ten, I believe. They are yes, they're 5-5. So battle of the mids. What are your guys' thoughts, Willie?
Yeah, I think a good chance here to start a little winning streak. You're at home again. Team you've already beat by 10 at their place. We played them the first time. It wasn't the prettiest game.
Did we beat them by 10 or was that Minnesota?
You know what? That might have been Minnesota. Let me
We
pull
beat
that
them
up.
by 2.
Yeah, that
We
was like
beat
the
Maryland by
insane
2.
one.
Yeah.
Maryland and Minnesota. I get them. Those games blend together for me. That was the one where we were lucky to have the ball at the
Yeah.
end.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I am a little off. Um, yeah, I think a good chance to again get a winning streak going. We're talking about a team that's won 9 of their last 12 games, whatever it is. A good chance to keep the ball rolling here at home. Coming off a pretty good performance in the second half there. I'm looking for them to take care of business here. I don't really want win the game, obviously, but I don't want a shaky first half. Just go out, handle your business. Hogard 15-7 kind of game. Tyson or Akins go off, whatever that may be. And maybe we can get Booker some extended minutes. I feel like it's due. I think this is a good opportunity. You're playing a team you should beat. But it's a conference game and you should get some good minutes here. Again, I want to see his minutes extended more and more as we get closer to the tournament. But I know there's things to work on. But these are the kind of games where the team we should beat. Like I said, you should really try to get him some minutes here. But I think the main point for me, just handle your business, get the job done.
Yep, definitely. And I want to see, I mean, we've been asking this for the entire season. I want to see them carry the momentum into the next game and actually play a complete fucking game. I haven't done that once. The last time we played Maryland, we played great in the first half, then we scored 17 points in the second half. That just can't happen again. I mean,
Yeah, I don't want
consistency is this team's kryptonite, basically.
this can't be a
And it's
reality back to earth check like that Wisconsin game.
no,
No,
exactly.
gosh, no.
Exactly. You need to take steps forward. We can't be sitting in place and, like I said, a lot, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We need to get wins. We'll get into a little more bracketology type of stuff later, but we need to boost that resume, even though it seems like we're okay right now. But we need to hit a certain threshold in the wins and start climbing the Big Ten standings. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough, or not exactly tough, but a troublesome, or we're going to be on edge for the rest of the season, basically.
Yes. Well, we're gonna be on
Yeah.
edge regardless. I feel
No,
like
but like
that's just how we are.
even more so.
But what I think a good floor for us should be double buy-in Big Ten tournament. I feel like if we get that, that's a reason. I know that's a reasonable goal. Obviously, goal still win the Big Ten. There's a very minimal margin for error, but
We're a
being a
game
top
out
4
of
seed
it
in the
right
Big
now.
Ten tournament just
Yeah.
seems.
We're
I
a
think if
game
we
away from
can
there.
do that, we are in prime position to possibly win the Big Ten tournament, get up a seed or two. Just
Only issue is the team that's there is Northwestern.
well, there's a lot of
Hey,
well, there's scratch that.
we don't play them very well.
Man, I really don't like those Wildcats.
Me neither. Not my favorite.
All right, do you guys got any more thoughts on the Maryland game? Do you want to just go back into some more general MSU talk? Basketball.
Yeah, good on the Maryland game. I mean, that's just a classic take care of business. Not much to say there.
Yeah. So, yeah, as I was saying with the Big Ten standings, so it's pretty much a rock fight up until the top 2, Purdue and Wisconsin. Wisconsin is like, they're extremely due to lose. Like Jesus,
That's
throw me a
one way to
freaking
look at
bone
it. Yeah.
here. They play Wisconsin. They play Nebraska, then Purdue. Okay, they got to lose at least one of those, right? I
You would think the Purdue game probably, but I don't know. Is that one home or away?
think it's at Purdue.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be a good game. Two good
Could
teams.
be. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess a question for you guys here is like after that Michigan game, how are we feeling about this team right now? I guess I kind of touched into it where with being a top 4 seed for the Big Ten tournament is a reasonable, attainable goal that is extreme disappointment if we don't get. Kind of what are your thoughts, Willie?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. When I look at the remaining schedule, and there's a lot of winnable games, right? We've got 10 games left. Maryland, Minnesota, Illinois, Penn State, Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana. I feel like 7-3 is a pretty reasonable ask for this team. And so that would get us to 20-11 on the year. I think the 3 losses, Illinois, Purdue, and I have Indiana as a potential loss. I think we're at Iowa, which could be tough too. I feel like they always kind of give us a tough time, but I think 7-3 is a good number to shoot for this team, and it's not unattainable. Maybe you steal one from Illinois or upset Purdue.
We have to win against an actual good top
Yeah,
team.
that's what I'm saying. Like win one of those games, and then maybe you drop one to Iowa or something. I don't know. More wins the better. I think the 20 wins, I think gets us back into that 7 seed conversation. Out of this, like some of these places have us in the first 4, which we'll get into, but I think that gets us out of there. And then, Big Ten tournament, anything can happen. That's where, you could really do some nice jumping in terms of seeds. I think Nick, you hit the nail on the head. If you can get 2 buys, that's really what you're shooting for. I don't have the standings pulled up, but gonna be tough to jump Northwestern. They played Purdue very tough tonight. They always play us tough. We are due against them, so that would be they could slip up here, but we get a game, so we get a chance to get a game on them. So I'm with you, Nick. I think that top 4 Big Ten seed going to the tournament, get to 20 wins, and then see what happens.
So that's pretty much the last 2 seasons where we've gotten to 20 wins.
Yeah.
I was just looking. We've gone 11-8 and 11-9 in Big Ten play the past 2 years. Then 9-11 the year before that. So I would really like to improve a bit.
Yeah.
Like
We're
The
5-5 right now.
yeah, so 7-3
7
would put us at 12-8.
Yeah.
Slight
That'd be
improvement.
nice.
Yeah.
ugh.
One game better.
Yeah. Sometimes little steps are okay.
we were 7
Yeah.
seed the past 2 years. Just the Spartan 7 seeds is how
Yeah.
it feels.
Yeah.
I guess we might as well
Classic.
get into some bracketology here. So, Ves, you were saying you see what did you see us projected as?
Yeah, so ESPN has us as an 8, I believe, right now, maybe a 9.
Yep. An 8 in the West.
8 in the West. Okay. Fox has us as an 11 playing Texas Tech. And I believe that was also in the West. Let me take a look here. They
11
do
is a
weird-
play-in game.
No, that one's not a playing game.
Okay.
No, in the okay, so that one's in the Midwest. CBS has us as an 11 playing in a playing game.
Yeah, versus Virginia Tech.
Was that who it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
That was in the
Yeah.
South. And then USA Today
Yes.
also has as an 8, also in the South.
Okay. I did not look at the USA Today. So
Interesting that the ESPN, like Trav said, has as an 8, would be going up against Old Mississippi. The 1 seed in that region right now, UNC. The CBS bracketology, which has us as a first 4 in 11 seed playing game versus Virginia Tech in the South. The 1 seed would be Houston. USA Today, 8th seed South up against South Carolina. 1 seed UNC. And I didn't see the Fox one, but it's always interesting, especially when you're going to come in as an 8 seed. You want to keep an eye on who that 1 seed is going to be, because that's who
You get in the second
taking
round.
on in the second round. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is tough. If they could find a way to not be an 8 seed, that would be ideal.
Well,
At least have a shot at the second
6
weekend.
or 5 would be so.
Yes.
So that'd be cool. That'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They end up
Boom.
in the South bracket. That's the Dallas regional. So hopefully
I like
they would get far enough.
That's
The
a big
one
ask.
seed, the 1 seed in our bracket in the projected bracket on Fox in the Midwest is Purdue.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
Oh, that's a win.
eh.
Purdue in the tournament. Come on, we win that game.
with that,
That's a game. Like at Mackey, no shot in the tournament.
Yeah.
We are knocking
That's
we're
if they
knocking
get
the
that
Martian
far.
down.
Yeah. I mean, they have a pretty good track record of losing early.
So
maybe. Yeah, if they'd even get to us.
Yeah.
second round matchup would be against Creighton, likely in that one.
Oh,
that's
a good team. Those guys can play.
It sounds like Marquette. We can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an obvious one.
Yeah. It's so early. A lot
Yeah,
can
yeah.
change.
We got
I think
almost
ideally-
2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I think ideally, I know you guys would like the West bracket to play in Dallas, but you want to be in the Midwest and play the Sweet 16
The
game.
South bracket.
I'm sorry, South bracket. Yeah,
South is in
you want
Dallas,
to be in
yeah.
the Midwest so you can play in
Yeah.
those Sweet 16 games at Little Caesars Arena. I would think they've played well
Yeah.
there this year.
Yeah, I think that was the goal. I mean, before the season started, the goal was to be the number 1 seed in the Midwest. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I think we can
But-
kiss that one goodbye.
Yeah. A long time ago, we could.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We probably yeah after James Madison, I think that was all right.
Yeah. Remember
One
after
day
James
into the
Madison
season.
saying like, "Oh, come on, it's not time to kiss the 1 seed goodbye yet." Hey, it was time to
No,
kiss
that
the
was
1 seed
that
goodbye.
might have been Duke, or
Yeah.
or maybe that was
Arizona.
Arizona.
Man, we've said it a few times.
Or maybe it was Nebraska. Oh, could it have been Wisconsin? It could have been Wisconsin the second time. Oh man. Okay, well, maybe that mid January, late January slump was just the entire season until February slump.
The
I-
3
one
season
thing-
slump. Yeah.
One thing I'm hoping is maybe the Lions losing kind of restored order to the world, so MSU can start being good again.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We'll see. I mean,
Like
who knows?
it's so easy. It's so easy for me to buy back into MSU basketball. It's really like sad. I know I said like 3 days ago, there's no way I'm going to buy back in, but like beating Michigan, it never hurts.
No, you're right. I am still holding out.
I'm not
I-
buying. I'm not buying back in yet. But
I
it's
have
easy.
bought back in too many times, not just on this team, but in the past. And I've been hurt too much this year. I don't know if I have it in me to buy back in.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I guess it's hope. It's not really optimism yet or anything. It's
Yeah.
just, there's that little cracked door opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is every season always ends sad? Unless you don't make the
does.
playoffs or don't make the
Yeah.
tournament, your last game's a win. Then you're
Yeah,
good.
that's right. Yeah. Unless you win your last game, just
Hey, we haven't done that in 24 years.
that's
Yeah.
That's
We did in
tough.
football 2 years ago. Thank you, Mel. Oh, thank you, Mel.
Hmm.
thank
We're
you,
strictly
Mel.
talking basketball, but okay.
Yeah, so I guess any more thoughts on MSU basketball, or should we go into the incident?
Yeah, I'm all good on MSU basketball. I feel like football is pretty quiet right now.
There's
Any,
nothing. We got some commitment today. I don't know what
It was a walk on.
seemed like a
running
preferred
back, I
walk
believe.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. We're offering a lot of 25 guys right now.
Oh,
Like that's
Typical.
who cares?
Yeah,
Signing
quiet
day.
time.
Signing day next week.
Yeah, we
Week
can
from
do something
today.
for signing
Week
day
from
next
today,
week.
actually. Yeah.
Jaden Walker's still in play. Doesn't sound like he will likely I think it sounds like he's going to USC more than likely, but he's still somewhat in play. I think we're going to meet with him in home before signing day.
That's good. The last
But
meeting.
yeah, 25, it's like not even worth thinking about right now.
Yeah.
That's Jonathan Smith's game. I'm excited for it to start though
Me too.
for the season.
Yeah.
Oh, they
spring ball will be
did. They
starting
did
soon.
Yeah, they did announce spring dates today.
Yeah, it looks like it's not going to be a
Right.
game.
What the heck?
I couldn't tell what it was. I mean,
When was the last time we had like a
it could be
spring
in
game?
something called D'Antonio.
Yeah. It's like forever.
It was
now.
called the Spring
So-
Showcase.
Yeah.
I mean, that could just be a fancy name for a game. Who knows?
boy, the past couple of years with Mel, he was like, we don't have enough players, enough healthy bodies to even put on a spring game. Like that's really depressing. Like how does that
that sounds like it's on you and your
yeah,
staff.
like what the what's going on, man?
He's like, yeah, we're not going to tackle in practice. Okay, hey, why? Okay, well, I mean, if people are going to get hurt anyway, you might as well tackle.
You didn't
in
tackle in
practice.
the games
Right.
either.
Yeah, I mean that's a there's a correlation there.
Working out the if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he had a couple
So,
phone calls to make.
Yeah, so spring practice starts March 19th, and the spring game is on April 20th, or spring showcase,
Okay.
whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Oh, hot box in Spartan Stadium, baby.
That's right.
I think it was on 420 our freshman year, like the spring freshman year.
Nice.
Because remember, I took an edible and I thought that like the stadium was floating because it looks like this, like because of the sky. It was pretty sweet.
That sounds cool. We can get behind that.
All right, so should we get into the incident?
Lead the way.
Yeah.
So I guess we are in serious mourning right now. The Detroit Lions lost to the San Francisco 49ers in just a really messed up way, man. Like at halftime of that game, in my head, we were in the Super Bowl. Like like you say you never know, it's still too early, but in my head, it was we're in the Super Bowl.
We
Like,
should
I
have
started
stayed at
thinking about it.
stands.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's one of those things where, like, if we did stay, though, we would have been mad because we switched every week.
Yeah.
We
That's tough.
were in one bar, went across the street at halftime. So not a great play, but who knows?
Yeah.
Happens. Yeah, I mean, I guess, Willie, you want to lead off with your thoughts? I'll be back in a couple minutes.
What's
Okay.
An all-time emotional roller coaster. I mean, that first half was magical. I mean, nothing could go wrong. The offense was humming. The defense was getting stops. The 49ers looked just all out of sorts. And kind of like Nick, I mean, it was hard to ignore, up 17 at halftime. Everything's going our way. It was hard not to start thinking about Las Vegas in the Super Bowl. I remember saying to someone that called me at halftime, like, they're going to have to outscore us by 17 points. That's like, if we score 14 points, they're going to have to score 31 just to tie the game. Like, I was like 2 touchdowns and we will win the game. And, the second half is, one of those things that everything that needed to go their way went their way, and everything that needed to go wrong for the Lions went wrong. It's like I'm not going to use the term that people love to use, but I will say it was such a Lions way to lose the game. I mean, it was their own doing. I hate to say it because this team is not that. They're not that term that people always say, and I'm not going to say it. I think a lot is being made about Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down, and I'd love to see where you guys stand on that. But that first 4th down that we went for it on in the third quarter, my gut did say kick the field goal. Like, the 49ers just got 3 points. If we match that, we're up 3 scores in halfway through the third quarter. But, I wasn't mad when he went for it. If you look at our statistics on 4th and 3 or less, we were like 17 for 20. which I think is pretty much what Badgley is from 45 yards and on. Like, and the play call was good. It hit the guy right in the hands. The execution was good up until the point that it needed to be. He just dropped it. And if he catches that, the Lions are probably going to the Super Bowl. It sucks. And the second, fourth down, kind of the same situation. I mean, you're talking about 48-yard field goal. Again, I do think my gut said to kick it, tie the game. 7 minutes left in the fourth, you got a tie game. But I'm not mad that he went for it. Just it sucks that that's the way they lost. If they would have just been tied at halftime and didn't quite get it done, or just been losing the entire game, I think I could have swallowed that a little easier. That would have been a little more palatable. Just really a shitty way to lose a big time game like that. I don't know. Would love to see where you guys stand on Dan Campbell, but also would love to yield some time here to let you guys get some things off your chest as well.
Yeah. I've been like you were saying, or it'd be easier to swallow if we just like knew we were the much worse team. I've been telling people past couple of days I would have rather lost that game 42-10, just because you'd be able to sit there and be like, okay, we got a lot to work on. They're clearly better than us. They deserved it. We were right there I mean, it was there. We honestly should be going to the Super Bowl. It didn't happen because we collapsed. And on the Campbell thing, I was telling Nick even before those plays, I was pro field goal on both those situations. I look at it the first time, go up 17. I get it if we're up like 11 and the field goal is still going to make it a 2-possession game, but 3 possessions over versus 2 possessions is a big deal at that point, especially late in the playoff game. And then especially with the way that we're reeling and not getting much done on offense. And that's kind of the same way I was thinking with tying the game. They don't have the rule where, okay, if they score a touchdown, now the game's over in overtime, now the game's over. So you get the chance to tie the game, you're going to see the ball in overtime no matter what. If it gets to that point. So that was my thinking. Having said that, that is who Dan Campbell is, and you shouldn't have been surprised that he decided that he wanted to go for it. And to your point, those plays were there. Josh Reynolds had a very rough second half.
Yep.
A lot of drop balls that should have been caught. There were a lot of plays on the defense that should have gone the other way too. I don't know how Juszczyk was so open on that out route or whatever the hell he was running, because you know, he was so open he could literally just take his time and look down and tap his toes as slowly as he possibly wanted. And then the catch that Ayuk made, it should have been an interception. I mean, you got to catch that ball.
Yeah.
And there's no way it should have been a 50-yard catch too.
Yeah.
And then Purdy with his legs, it's just like, Jesus, what's with our defense with the running quarterbacks? He's not even that mobile of a quarterback. Like he can run, but he's not like considered the dual threat like the Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts type of guys. And those guys have been giving us trouble for a long time. I don't even remember the last time we contained one of those. And usually I would chalk it up to him being able to step up in the pocket, because a lot of times we haven't had the pass rush from the interior, but that wasn't really the case in this game. He was getting out of it wherever he wanted to escape from the pocket.
Yeah. All great points.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that my thoughts on the fourth down is like, I mean, at the end of the day, the first half, everything that could have gone our way went our way. In the second half, everything that went their way could have gone their way, and they ended up doing a little bit better. We converted like what, 1 for 4 on fourth down that game? Does that sound right? I think we did. We
Sounds
got
right.
it once. Like, it would have been like that's what got us there. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, the odds from what they were would have been we would have at least made it 2 out of 4 times. Like, and it's kind of the risk you're willing to take. And Badgley, let's be honest, yeah, sure, he hit that 1 field goal with 54 yards. He's not that good.
Right.
He's missed some pretty not that bad not that tough field goals. It could have easily been something else that we could have said he should have gone for it or should have done this, should have done that. It's just a lot of stuff. Breaks happened each way, and the better team, I guess, won. It really
And
sucks. It just really sucks because it felt like we could have won that game. Just
that Badgley kick that you were talking about was inside too. So
Also true.
very different conditions.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things. If they kick the field goal and Badgley misses, everyone would be saying you should have gone for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's always easy to look back in hindsight. You know, my question for you, when did you guys know they're not going to win? Like, what was the moment that you knew, no, this is not going
the
to,
fumble.
yeah. I think for me, it was the Ayuk catch. Like, that was just like,
Yeah.
to me, that was
I
like,
didn't
okay,
I
this
didn't
is,
speak much after that.
yeah, it was like, this is
You
not
didn't
going to go our way.
Yeah.
I just
think
kind
it
of
was the
stood and like
fumbled-
banged the
yeah.
chair down like every 5 minutes.
I think more accurately it was when they scored right after the fumble.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
like, okay, momentum's all the way
we
that
knew
way.
it was.
We're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it sucks so bad, and I know this is a Michigan State podcast, and we've talked a lot of Lions lately, but this will probably put a cap on the Lions season for us. But you know what? Like after that first half, or not after the first half, but after seeing that first half, like thinking about that game, not only were the Lions good enough to be in the Super Bowl, they're good enough to. This was a team that was good enough to win the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
I think Campbell hit the nail on the head. Like you don't know when you're going to get that opportunity again. I mean, you think about all the things that went right for this team, whether it was, getting 2 home playoff games because Tampa beat the Eagles, or, the refs not calling pass interference or holding against the Rams, or even look at the regular season, like going 17 for 20 on 4th down and 3 or better is not, you're probably not
Doesn't
going to do
happen.
that
Yeah.
over again. Like, so you think about all the things that had to go right for this team to get to that game. Like, that's you can't replicate that. Like, that's not necessarily going to happen again next year. Like, there's a very good chance this team could be a much better team on paper, but not have as good of a season as they did this year. Like, in that, like, as a fan, especially of the Lions, it's so hard to think, oh, we'll be back there next year. Like, this team is there. It's not like the NBA where you're gonna like teams just cruise to the conference finals every year. The same teams cruise to the conference finals every year. Like the NFL is just a different beast. And you think about it, like the last time we played in a game like that, it was 30 years ago. Like we might not get back for 30. It could be 30 years. And I have confidence that this team will be better next year. There's a great core of rookies or in young players in general that are coming back. And I think Dan Campbell and Brett Holmes do a great job in the draft, and they will continue to do a good job in free agency, and they'll make the right moves. But I mean, Green Bay is going to be better. Chicago's going to be better. There's no guarantee that we'll, win the division again next year, where it was a cakewalk this year for the most part. I don't think that's going to be the case. So it's tough. I mean, it's so hard, especially for Lions fans. And I know every sports fan has had a game like that where their team is in it for the first time in a while and it looked good and the other team came back. But I don't know, like for Lions fans, it's tenfold. Like that was our first playoff win in 30 years. We were up by 17 in the NFC Championship game, and it's scarring. Like I am still recovering in a way. Like it's been tough to move on. I don't know if that is a game you ever move on from. The Lions will have to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 years for me to really be like, okay, I can forget about that game.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was telling you guys before we got on here, I'm not even sure I even want to watch the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Like off of that, I mean, I'm gonna have to for work, but geez.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously
it's
I'm going to
rough.
watch it, but
Yeah.
like it might not be a full thing. Like a full watch, I'm sure it will be, but like
Yeah.
who are you guys rooting for?
I can.
I want the Chiefs to blow them out.
Same.
It's
Yeah,
like I'm kind of tired of the Chiefs, but I'm getting tired of Patrick Mahomes, but I do like his game. He's easy to root for the most part. It's getting a little not like that. I'm having a little more trouble rooting for him, but still like the Chiefs. Love Andy Reid. But I kind of feel like the Super Bowl Grinch this year. Like people are asking me if I want to do the boxes or the squares, whatever they call them. I don't. I just people are like, what are you going to bet on? Like I'm not doing any of that. I don't have. I my This is probably the least excited I've ever been for a Super Bowl. I usually love the Super Bowl. That's like one of my favorite days of the year. I don't have it this year. I'll watch the game. People can come over. I'll obviously have some good food, do the whole thing, but you know, I do not obviously do not care who wins or loses. I prefer if the Chiefs would win, but like once the game is over, I'm going to sleep just like I would any other night. I just don't have it. I'm beaten.
yeah, I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's never felt like a thing. It's never felt like a thing. Like the Super Bowl's
Right.
never been like we never had a chance, and now it's like it was right. It was right
It was right
there.
there. It was right there.
We were so close to like I don't even know what I'd be doing right now if the Lions won that game.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Yeah, I mean, Willie's right. I mean, we could be a very good team for the next few years and never make it back.
Right.
Bengals
Like
haven't made it back yet.
yeah, the Bengals haven't
Eagles.
been back. They're still talented. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eagles look like they're never gonna make the playoffs.
Eagles fell
again.
apart. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's
That
like
went down to shit.
I don't know if you guys
Like-
are like this, but like the week leading up to that game, I was just gargling all the Lions content I could, listening to all 4 hours of Valenti, reading every article. After that game, like Monday morning, I could not even look at an article. I could not listen to Valenti. Like I was like, I'm not even gonna turn it. I'm like afraid to like like in a breakup after you get broken up with or something, you like don't want to see their pictures on Instagram or Facebook. It's kind of like how I feel about the Lions. Like I don't want to. I can't do this right now. Like I
Yeah.
just don't want to. I'm so
the
hurt.
the water cooler talk at work. I overheard someone like just talk about the game, and I was just like, it was kind of by my desk. And I was like, could you guys like just not talk about this right now?
Hey, I had to dive right into the East-West Shrine game. So
Yeah.
I had to be right back around football the very next morning.
God bless you. That's
was
tough.
Yeah.
Not
I didn't
fun.
want to think about
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah, the work thing was fun. Like people just messaging me like sorry for the loss. Like
Don't
oh,
even
what did
to
you
me.
think about them going for it on fourth down? Like I don't have time to get into this with you. Like, do you really want to hear my thoughts? Because if you do, pick up the phone and call me because I'm not typing this out. This is gonna take a while.
Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Just send him a link
Tune
to the
in Wednesday
Spartan
night, will you?
Savants.
Yeah.
Spartan venting session.
Yeah. But followed by
Lion
some good news
version. Yeah.
with Ben Johnson coming back. That's big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I love the unfinished business shit that's coming out too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you say when you lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Right.
Like that's the kind of thing you say in a really disappointing ending to a season.
Yeah. How many people
Well,
have
I
say
mean, it
unfinished
was.
business?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying then like
Eh.
the next year is an really
Yeah. How many
disappointing
people
season.
say unfinished business, then come back and just do not like think about like Miles Bridges. He was an unfinished business guy. He came back for an extra year. And I think we lost in the second round. Or like the
I know we did.
in the
Ben
first round.
Carter.
Yeah,
Ben
against
Carter.
Syracuse, right? Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
we'll see.
I guess any more thoughts on the Lions? Because we could. Anything else you
Segue
guys want
into
to say
more
about-
sadness.
Yeah, we could segue into more sadness.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do now. We're going to do a draft. We're gonna do 4 each. Gonna be me, Willie, Vess, me, Willie, Vess. Not a snake draft. And then basically most disappointing sports moments. And this can be pretty vague, like on the field, off the field, any sport, like just moments.
Disappointing sports disappointments, like
Yes.
draft picks that didn't turn out, recruits that didn't turn out. Could be moments, specific teams, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So I'll go first. The 1-1 pick. It's going to be a little different than what you guys are expecting. and it's going to be 2010 Detroit Lions versus the Chicago Bears, Calvin Johnson process moment.
Oh
And you
wow.
probably are thinking, why is that the number one moment? Because that seemed like that was supposed to be the season where things were going to be well. We had Calvin, we had Stafford. I think it was the second year. 0-16 seemed to be behind us. Like this would be the year of breaking out. And just when that happened, that's just kind of when I kind of knew I was going to be watching just a suckwad team the rest of my life. Like just I'm just
Yeah,
gonna have to deal with fucking bullshit the rest of my entire life.
that was a big one because that started the whole like completing the process when it came to like what is a catch. Like that was a pretty big. You're so right though. That was like the classic. Oh, this team is good. Okay, they're still the Lions. Um, my first round pick, I'm going to take the easy fruit. I'm going to go Sunday NFC Championship against the 49ers. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit while it's there. I mean, I just don't know if I've ever been more disappointed in life or in sports.
Fair. Um, I feel weird taking this in the first round, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go to the NBA here with the Chauncey Billups trade.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
good one,
That
Trav.
that
Good
was
one.
rough just for everything that's happened since then. I mean, the Pistons have been an absolute trash franchise since that trade happened. Dumars lost his job very well. I don't know. I don't remember how long ago, how much longer he was around during that, but the AI Pistons were not as good as, nowhere near as good
Is
as
advertised.
the, no, not as advertised, but as the Pistons that we had become accustomed to at that time, and that just signaled the end of the era. Six straight Eastern Conference Finals appearances, NBA title, another NBA title or NBA Finals appearance that we probably should have won. Yeah, I mean, that was just, I remember my dad told me, and I was like, they did fucking what? Like, what the hell are they doing? And I think we were
Yeah,
like we started the season like 4-0 and like barely finished 500. So, I mean,
it
that was the
definitely did
beginning of the end there.
signal the end of the work going to work Pistons era for sure. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a good one, Trav.
All right, I got one here. I think the one huge moment of disappointment, I don't know if it would be 2022, the Washington game against Michigan State, because that's kind of when it was the moment when we were like, huh, maybe 2021 was all or was all K9. Maybe Mel Tucker's not that good of a coach.
Yeah.
This could get bad. That
Yeah.
followed by the Minnesota just absolutely blanking us was like 1-2 punch of, oh boy, we might not be good for
Team
a
is bad,
foreseeable
bad.
future.
He is bad. Oh, damn, that's another good one. I'm trying not to take the obvious ones here. I will go. I'll kind of in the same avenue as Trav over the NBA Pistons. Darko Milicic. Drafted him 2 or 3 overall. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Two.
Two. Yeah, we had the first. We had just gone to the conference finals. We had the pick from the Grizzlies. I think it was their first round pick, unprotected. Um, I can't remember all the names that were there, but like Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, obviously LeBron got picked one. I can't remember the other names, but like
Was D
D
Wade there?
Wade.
D
Yeah, D
Wade,
Wade was
yes.
there.
If you
Yeah.
look at that's an obvious one. How did I miss that? If you look at what, and obviously we got an NBA championship, so it's not all lost, but
Yeah.
you look at what those teams could have done with D Wade or Carmelo, probably talking about 3 or 4 NBA championships instead of just one. So that was a pretty big disappointment in my sports fandom career.
That was a stacked draft class too when you look at it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they completely flipped that. They got all enamored with that was back when like Dirk was breaking out and everybody wanted that next European superstar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they got enamored with that. I'm gonna go get some baseball in here. Well,
Take
Detroit
mine.
Tigers. Oh, you had it.
I think
Not
you're gonna take it.
okay. Okay.
I knew this one was
Uh,
coming.
I don't know if we're on the same page on this. Whatever. Um, believe it was the 2013 ALCS. Don't remember what game it was, but I know. Do you remember what game it was?
It was game 3 or 4. Talking about Joaquin
Was
Benoit.
it? I am talking about the big poppy home
Yep.
run that went right over Torrey Hunter's glove
Yep.
with the security guard throwing his hands up. I mean, what Anibal Sanchez went like 8 innings, no hits in that game, and we're up. It looks like we're about to be almost cruising into the World Series. And Big Poppy comes up, hits a grand slam to win the game for Boston. And I think that was the ninth inning, wasn't it? A walk
It
off,
was the
wasn't it?
eighth.
Yeah.
No, it was the
Was it
eighth.
the eighth?
Bottom
Okay,
of the eighth.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things are a little hazy from that night, but
Yeah, that
yeah,
was tough.
that was so I mean, we had just been to the World Series the year before, thought we should have won it and didn't show up in that series. And we were like, yeah, we're gonna go back, and we haven't been back since. So it's,
It's
and
a
make
good
things
one.
worse, the Royals won it the next year. So
Yeah.
I remember
Oh,
my advertising professor was a Royals fan, and she
oh,
kept wearing her Royals stuff during that. That was really
oh.
annoying.
Yeah, that was a big one. I think that was game 3. I think could have gone up 3-0 in that series, or we could have.
I
It was
remember.
game 2 because we could have taken a 2-0 lead heading back to Detroit.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it was either 2 or 3 was
Yeah.
what I could remember, but I could, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was brutal. That was brutal.
I'm gonna do one that was very disappointing in the moment, but at the end of the day, probably wasn't that big of a deal. But I'm gonna say Amani Bates decommitting.
Oh,
That
that's a
was
good one.
so annoying.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like at the end of the day, we see where he is now. Who knows what would have happened? But at the time, like when Amani Bates committed, it was a classic how we were this season. Like, well, we just won the national title. We're good. Like, we got
yeah,
this.
yeah,
And when he decommitted, it felt like that was the beginning of like the end.
yeah. That's true. That's a good one too. It was so exciting when we got the number 1 overall player. Like this guy
The
was
best
like
player since LeBron.
the biggest thing. Yeah. Oh, that was a heartbreaker.
Ended up not being a big deal, but
Yeah.
thank God for Akins,
Uh,
baby.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Trav, you had mine. I had kind of an I'm gonna stick with baseball. Tigers. The 2014 ALDS against the Orioles. The Tigers had a pitching staff of Verlander, Scherzer, Sanchez, Porcello, David Price. So like 3 Cy Youngs on that staff. Anibal Sanchez had the lowest ERA in baseball that year, or had the most strikeouts. I can't remember which one. And the Tigers got swept in 3 games.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I
Those
felt
were
like
those were
go.
depressing times at the ranch.
Yeah, that was the first year of the ranch. That to me kind of signaled the end of the the mid 2010s Tigers team, which I think I was going to go with them as an overall disappointment. I thought it was maybe too vague, but the fact that that team didn't come out with a World Series is it will always haunt me. Because I mean, like I said, that 2014 getting swept by the Orioles just felt like the end of that team. 2015 got off to a good start, then sucked, and we ended up selling at the deadline, and they haven't been really competitive. They were
Yeah, I
competitive
mean,
the next year or the year or two after that, but they missed the playoffs by a game or two, and I mean, we haven't even sniffed it since.
Dombrowski was let go shortly after that too.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
the next season.
yeah. I
Yeah.
am sorry. You have more
Nope.
to say?
Nope,
No,
that's
okay.
it.
Okay. I am going to stick with baseball here. I was thinking of other ones a second ago, but you reminded me of one. So I'm going to take you back to, I believe it was June 4th, 2010. Armando Galarraga's 28
Oh,
out perfect game.
good one.
That, oh, I was fuming at that one, man.
Oh, yeah.
He
The rest of the city.
out. Yeah. Well, I was living in New Jersey, so I wasn't with the rest of the city. Um, it was. I mean, that was rough, and all they did to make up for it was give him a freaking car.
That's the best we can do.
Really,
Yeah.
and I just remember a bunch of Rod Allen's calls that night too. Like Austin Jackson made an incredible catch in center field, and he just
Oh,
stood
okay.
up and was like, Jackson, yeah. And then they make that call, or Jim Joyce makes that call, and he goes, Jim Joyce, no.
Yeah.
Why, Jim Joyce? Why?
They really should make that
It
right.
was-
Like they should have the next day, like said that counts as a perfect game. Like that needs to be fixed, especially now with the replay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
we could fix
obviously,
that.
it would have been a perfect game if they had replay back then.
Yeah. Oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah. My last one, surprised no one said anything like this, but mine would be Jim Harbaugh and Connor Stalions not being persecuted by the fullest extent of the law for their treasonous activities.
Good one.
Well put.
I mean, it's just sad to see justice fall, you know. Fall of a nation, fall of a organization.
Yeah.
Just such disappointment in just in humanity as
Right.
a subject.
You expect more from the leaders of young men like that, and you can't jeopardize the integrity of college football like that. I mean, that's sacrilegious. You just really can't do that.
Yeah, it's like giving like a monkey the keys to the zoo. Like you can't.
I am
Hey, how is it like that at all?
calling for the NCAA to wrap up this investigation and punish Michigan to the full extent of the law. Not just the NCAA rules and regulations, but I want the law involved.
Oh yeah, people
Motion
like
seconded.
Connor Stallions has a cameo. Back in like November, I was convinced he would be like 5 years in federal prison. Like, they were making it sound like he was like the head of a gambling like business scheme at U of M. Like,
It's so true. And you know what? I was the one that kept saying, like, wait till it all comes out. Wait till it all comes out. They're gonna get him so good. And then nothing's been said for like 3 months. uh that's a good one, Nikki. I don't know how to follow that up. I'm trying to get a Michigan State one in here. I don't know. I think the 2014 UConn loss is definitely up there.
surprised that hasn't been picked yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it off. I feel like
Thought
we hit that
about
one.
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and find a Michigan State one. I'll go Damian Terry.
I was thinking about that one.
Put
I
in
feel
Terry.
We finally had this guy that was like, he can run, he can pass. Everyone's talking about how good he is, and he just like never was anything. I mean, he had some really big plays in that Ohio State game we won, but that's
Yeah.
about it. He had a couple runs, but just never materialized. I mean, he was like, it would be the equivalent of Aiden Childs not being good, which I'm not
Don't
even going to
even.
go down that road. If that
Don't
Don't
speak
even-
that out
even
here.
happening.
Don't put that out
I'm
here.
not even going to put that out there.
Eee.
That's not a
He just-
possibility.
oh.
Ew.
Just to give the Spartan Savant fans out there some context, I mean, Damian Terry was a big deal. And then he
Oh,
just
yeah,
he was a
wasn't.
4-star dual threat guy.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
God
everybody-
Connor Cook was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Connor Cook's out there leading us to a Super Bowl, Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And everybody's
two-star.
screaming. Everybody's out there in the stands at Spartan Stadium going, put in Terry. Like,
That was a disappointment,
Yeah.
man. That sucked.
yeah. I want to get another Michigan State one in here. I have
We can do
debating
another
between
round or
two.
two.
But nah.
We'll do honorable mentions.
Yeah, okay. I am gonna go. My last one is gonna be Lions and MSU themed here. Charles Rogers,
I had him on my list too. That's a good one.
number 2 overall pick, one of the best college receivers we've ever seen. Just the absolute bust after getting his collarbone broke. That was
Yeah.
the injury, I
Yep.
believe. Yeah. like 6 games into his NFL career, maybe even less, gets hooked on drugs after that. Who knows if he was hooked on anything before that? RIP. But I mean, that dude, you watch his tape from college, that dude was a freak.
Yeah.
And in a good way. And it was just, I mean, I remember my dad going to me, "Hey, it's official, Chuck's a Lion." And I'm like, "Hell yeah." And didn't turn out well. I
He
mean,
got off to a good start with the Lions.
yeah,
I remember I had a
yeah.
Charles Rogers jersey. He was a great receiver, man. I had him on I had that on my list too. That's a good one. Oh,
That is a good one. All right. Let's do some honorable mentions here. I mean, all the March Madness losses can be on
yeah,
there.
I mean, how much
Yeah.
time do you have there? COVID season, not seeing Cassius
Ooh.
get to play in the NCAA tournament one last time.
Oh,
That's a good
we
one.
can let
That's a
that one
really good
out.
one. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't believe no one said that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
The Matt Stafford era.
Yeah, I had Cowboys game on my list.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Playoff loss to Bama, obviously.
yeah, that was.
I
tough
was really
one.
close to picking that one because
Yeah,
that one
that was
specifically,
the other one I was thinking of. Yeah.
that one kind of felt like the moment where like, well, we're never going to be that good.
Yes.
Like we hit our
Yeah.
like it was like we hit our ceiling, and our
Trading-
ceiling
yeah.
is getting fucked.
That truly in the most sense of the phrase was an eye-opening loss. Like that was like, okay, well, we're just not ever going to be that good. We don't have the same dudes as they do. Like we can win the Big Ten and we might be able to, beat, if we had to play TCU or somebody in that game, but we're never going to beat a team like that.
It was like we weren't good enough to beat them, and there's nothing we will ever be able to do to be able to beat them.
No, that was an eye-opening one. I obviously had MSU UConn 2014. I also had Pistons Spurs 2005 NBA Finals.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
That's the finals that I was talking about.
yeah. Yeah, that's it. I had Tyler O'Connor, Andrew Maxwell.
That's
there.
yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
Maxwell.
Those are good too.
I mean, people talked about Andrew Maxwell like he was going to be better than Kirk Cousins.
Elite. Yeah. The Elite 11 in general.
Yeah.
Elite 11 quarterbacks in
Hauser.
MSU in general. Yeah.
Mel Tucker, if we want to talk
yeah.
about disappointments too.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
David Stone.
David
Stone commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so pissed off about that. And then 2 weeks later, it was the least of our concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
so
when that was
true.
a huge deal.
Yeah. Oh,
It
another
was
good one.
Obviously, never coming to MSU.
No, it was always Oklahoma. Another MSU football related one recent was Urban Meyer when it was like, okay, he's not coming.
Oh yeah.
I mean, again, I think it worked out.
The
I
flag,
really
the
like John
flags at
Smith.
half mast. Yeah, no,
Yeah. I remember the day when it was like, okay, when all the message boards were like, okay, it's like less than
Urban Meyer
1%. I
bust.
was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm so depressed about this.
It went from like he is our coach. Like you are going to hear it like tonight or
It was
tomorrow
on the
morning at the
goal line.
latest.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Uh,
yeah, it is a 1% chance it's happening, and it was never going to happen.
You know what's funny about that is like if you are not on the message boards, you're like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Like Mikey and John Orlando were like, I mean, there is no national media talking about Urban Meyer going to MSU. Like,
I
what are
felt like
you
it was the
reading?
big- I felt like it was
Well,
the
like,
biggest story in the world.
let me show you.
I'm up at
I thought
3
that like
a.m.
ESPN would be like not showing college football and just talking about the MSU football search.
I'm about to show you a whole new world. Just
Yeah.
go take a look. Yeah.
That one
Another
night I
easy
was
one.
refreshing the board at 3 a.m. Like, okay,
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
yeah.
It's gonna happen.
It was so
Yeah.
obviously never going to happen, but I was so bought in. I was so in.
Me too.
I thought of a couple Tigers ones to go with Verlander and JD being traded for a bag of baseballs and a box of
Yeah.
Cracker Jacks.
Yeah.
That hurts. The 43 and 119 season.
Yeah. That
I
was
mean, that's a
bad.
low point. I don't know if that can. I don't know how
You can
much
throw
of
in,
a
I guess,
disappointment you call that.
16
Yeah.
Lions too.
Oh,
Yeah.
and 16 Lions. Yeah. Steve Mariucci.
The Pistons right now.
Yeah.
The Pistons right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Monty Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michigan State this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Mel Tucker news. Getting that notification was crazy.
Bobby Williams.
Yeah. That Mel Tucker day was just, that was like after Grant's wedding. Everyone's at my apartment and there's like, did you check your phone? Did you read the news? I'm like, yeah, this sucks. We kind of just
He's
sat
like,
in
I don't
silence
want
for
to
a
even
half
think
hour.
about this right now.
Yeah. Like, oh, that was so shitty.
Like I woke up and I'm like, this is like a dream. Like this isn't actually
Yeah.
a thing.
This is just ESPN coming after us again. Okay, this is USA Today. This is
yeah.
the real deal.
Legitimate.
Yeah. He did what? To who? Oh God.
He did what?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's
Oh,
that
boy.
stupid.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. That can't be real. Like that's got to be like a rumor. Oh no. Oh, he admitted it. Oh, there's like a 2,000 page like
It's a really long
description.
article
Hey,
for a
this
rumor.
We
is,
need a new coach.
Yeah.
It was like it was like it was like a 3 hour thing of like, oh god, they're gonna hammer us for this too. Okay, we're going to have a new coach. This season's done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, I guess
that
football's
was
not
just
happening
like
this
packing
year.
it in. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one. Oh man. Yeah, they've really put us through a lot, these Spartans.
We really have.
All
Michigan
our
winning
teams, if
national
we're being
title kind of
honest,
sucks too.
Yeah.
the only team we didn't mention during this was the Red Wings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they've
his
been
Red
pretty good
Wings-
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't been very good for the past 5 or 6 years, but they haven't been historically bad. Like
Exactly.
the rest of the
Yeah.
teams.
And hey, that's a plus.
Yeah. Oh man. I can't like remember the last time that MSU like won a game that genuinely like really made me happy. And I know there's like,
Thrilled me.
Duke.
yeah,
Duke.
like Duke and beating Michigan in 2021.
21 that Michigan game.
Yeah,
And
that's
honestly,
probably-
the Peach Bowl.
Peach
The
Bowl,
Peach
yeah.
Bowl
The
was
Peach
like
Bowl was big. Yeah.
It felt like we were back. Like, and Mel Tucker was still in high regard at that time.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it
that
really
was
felt
probably
like we
the
were
last time.
Yeah. I mean, he was coach of the
Yeah.
year that year, wasn't he?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe so.
Hey, that was a
Yeah.
quick fall from grace.
Yeah, that really was quick. I mean, think about it. That's he only lasted one full season after that. Who would have thought? Well,
Crazy.
We're in a better
hopefully
place.
the next time we get
Yeah.
on the air,
Something
we'll be
good things will have happened.
better spirits. Yeah. This is a bit
I
of a
mean,
depressing ending in
it'll-
the show, but we had to get it out. I mean, it had to.
Yeah,
be.
we've had a lot of therapy sessions lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna
We'll
be
have
the Spartan
signing-
psychiatrists.
Yes.
We'll have signing day next week, so
Yes.
we'll
Back to our
see. We'll
roots.
see if something positive comes out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully win the next 2 games. Spartans. Hey, Tommy said it best. There's a lot of work to do, but we ain't dead yet.
You're not
Go
dead yet.
green. Spartan Savants. Signing off.
Go white.
Editor's note: please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter at the Spartan Savants, and subscribe anywhere you can get your podcast. Go green, go white.